This video is a continuation of our stock portfolios case videos that we've been doing. In the previous video, we had done the algorithm on our market of stocks, and we had generated a 250 firm portfolio from that market. And here are the firms that we're going to choose in our portfolio. So in this video, I want to look at the industry membership of our portfolio. So first thing I want to do is attach a select tool here. And we don't care about this max value anymore. We just care about which firms they are in the portfolio. So we essentially just have our one variable, and it is actually, and I also want to change this field name to company ID. And the reason I want to change it to company ID is because we're going to now merge our portfolio company IDs with our original data set so we can get the ticker and the industry that the firm is in. So now we should just have a column of company IDs. If I go here, yeah, there are our company IDs for our 250 firms. Now what we want to do is merge this or join this to our original data after we had cleaned it. This is where we started. This isn't where we started at the very beginning. This is where we started when we started to do the algorithm. So I want to join this to our 250 IDs. So attach this to the left. Doesn't really matter which one we attach to the left or the right. Attach this to the right. And what are we joining on? Well, the variable common to both is company ID. And what will we keep in our output? We will keep the SII Industry. We don't need a company ID twice. We don't need the date, the SII Industry, and the ticker. Let's say. String fields can only be joined to other string fields. Ah, I see. So company ID is a double in our old data set. It's a numeric data type, but in this, it's now a string. So let's make this double. We either need to make them both strings or both doubles. And that'll get rid of that error. I made them both numerics. Now we don't have an error. All right, let's look at our output here. This should have, for each of our 250 firms, we have the SII Industry and the ticker. But this was our first firm, but it appeared, 36 times over in the other data set because there were 36 rows for each firm. So that's why there's 36. So now we need to use a unique tool, which is right here. Attach it to this, and we'll find the unique company IDs. And it'll give, then for each company ID, it'll just be one row. Give the ticker and the SII Industry. So here are our 250 firms right here. For each firm, there's its SII Industry and there's its ticker. So if we wanted to go buy these firms, we could use these tickers here to do that. All right, notice the SIC Industry variable in the first file I gave you was a 4-digit code. It's a 4-digit, not necessarily 4-digit though, because look here, there's 250 right there. That's a 3-digit. Notice that. We want every number in here to be 4 digits though. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to attach another select tool. I'm going to change the SIC Industry here. I think I changed it to double earlier. That's why it says double. I'm going to change it back to string. Why? Because we're going to write a formula on that variable. We're going to use a formula tool, and we're going to notice, if you remember, I just showed you here, the SIC Industry should be a 4-digit code, but you see here, here's one that's 3 digits. So what I want to do is I want to make sure every code in here is 4 digits. If it's not 4 digits, I want to pad on the left side of it a 0 or 2 zeros or 3 zeros until there's 4 digits. You'll see why I want to do that here in a second. So I need to write a formula. The new column, I'll just call it, what should I call it? SIC Industry New, or I don't know, we'll call it that. And that new column will be equal, actually, you know what? We won't rename it. We'll just change the SIC Industry column itself. And I've said in a previous video that it's not, whenever you're writing a formula tool, you usually want to, output to a new column and don't change the column itself. But we're going to change the column itself. We're going to change the SIC Industry column. If we look at the SIC Industry column, no change will be made to that number, none to that number. But this number 250, we want it to say 0250. There aren't any codes here that are bigger than 4 digits. I already know that. There may be some that are less than 4 digits. If it said 25, we want it to say 0025. If it says 2, we want it to say 0002. So how do we do that? So if the length of SIC Industry is less than 4, the reason we change SIC Industry back to a string variable type is we can use this length function now. You can't use length on a numeric. So with the length of SIC Industry, you can use a function that's similar to length. It calculates the number of digits, but can't use length. So if length is less than 4, then this function pad left. Then pad left the SIC Industry so that the total length of the after padding is 4, and add zeros until you get the total length to be 4. So I forgot to put a parentheses here. There. So that's what this pad left does. It pads the SIC Industry string. If the length is less than 4, then we're going to put zeros until we get a length of 4. Else, if the length is not less than 4, then just don't do anything. Just let it be what it was before. And this new data type, VW or VString, is fine. All right, so that'll change the SIC Industry column. But we also want to create a new column, and we want to call this the SIC2 Industry, because we only want the first 2 digits of the SIC 4-digit industry. Why? Because the SIC Industry file I gave you, it tells which industry each SIC code is, but it only does it at the 2-digit level, not at the 4-digit level. So we're only going to grab the first 2 digits of the SIC 4-digit code. But you see, while we're doing this, first, if we grab the first 2 digits, say, of that number 250, if we grab the first 2 digits here, this is industry 28. And then it further granulates. Industry 28 is some broad thing, and then within that, industry 2830 is something, 2831 is something else, kind of similar, 32, 33, 34. But we don't want to go to that level of detail. So that's why we're grabbing the first 2 digits. But if we grab the first 2 digits of this number, it's going to say it's industry 25, but it's not. It's industry 2. We should be grabbing the first 2 digits. So we're putting a 0 before this, so 02 would be the first 2 digits. That's why we're doing this pad left. So the new column, SIC Industry 2, the formula for that is going to be just convert to number well, let me do this in order. So to string, which thing are we wanting to actually SIC Industry is already a string. We changed it. We don't have to use toString. So all we need is left SIC Industry, comma 2. It takes the first 2 digits. You can see the 2834 becomes 28. And that's fine if we leave that a string. And then that should be good. Let's see. It says a parse error. I don't think we've made any errors though. Did that grab our? Hopefully that got the first 2 digits for each industry. So let's see. Here's our output. We changed this to 0250, and we grabbed the first 2 digits, 02, that's fine. And then I grabbed the first 2 digits of all these, that's fine. It should be good. It should have grabbed the first 2 digits of each SIC 4-digit code. And the reason we wanted to do this is because we have a file. I've given you another file. The third file I gave you was for each SIC 2-digit industry. I told you I give the actual description of the industry, what it is. So now we can pull that file, bring that file in. So let's bring that file in with an input data tool. Come on, where is my input data tool? I have browse, I have output data, but what about input data? Have I not? It should be here. Oh, it's not a favorite anymore. I must have accidentally removed it from my favorites. So now we're going to bring in our SIC Industry code file that I gave you right here. And we will attach a select tool to that. And well, let's see. Maybe we don't have to attach. Let's attach a browse tool so you can see what it looks like. Let's just run this so we can see what we're looking at here. Here's our SIC Industry. So SIC code, I give you the 2-digit code, and then there's the industry. There's the description. So now we can join. Now we should be able to join our SIC industry descriptions to the results from this. The only thing is we need to rename. So the field here is called SIC2 Industry. And over here, it's called SIC Code. So we need to rename one of them. I guess let's rename, so you see what I mean? We're not going to be able to join on a common variable because they don't have a common variable. So let's join like this, and we'll rename SIC Code to SIC2 Industry. SIC2 Industry. And they should be strings in both. Now we can join on SIC2 Industry, and we can keep the company ID. We don't need to keep the 4-digit industry anymore. We can keep the ticker. We don't really need the ticker right now, but we can bring it back later if we want it. We only need one SIC2 Industry. And or actually, we don't even need the code anymore. All we need is the industry description. All right, let's look at our join here. So here are our 250 companies in our portfolio, and for each company there is the industry that it's in. You can clearly see that several companies are in the food and kindred products industry and so forth. So now let's look at what our instructions were. I think I asked something. Which are the top 3 SIC 2-digit industries representing our portfolio? All right, let's see. All we have to do is, at this point, is use the summarize tool, and we can group by industry, and we can count company ID. I believe that would do the trick. Or we could count industry, not company ID, sorry. Or count company ID. I think that'll work. Let's see. Yeah. So this industry, one firm is in that industry from our 250. The sum of the count column should equal 250. Chemicals and allied products has 29 firms. So what we can do is we can then sort this in descending order. And it looks like 44 of our 250 companies are in the depository institutions industry. 29 are in the chemicals and allied products industry. 20 are in business services industry. 19 are in, I don't even know what that industry is. Measures, instruments, photo, gadgets, watches. Food and kindred products has 17 companies and so forth. And then there are a lot of industries that only have one firm in them in our portfolio. So the top 3 industries would be these top 3. So this is a kind of an interesting analysis. By no stretch of the imagination are all the companies in the same industry. So we do have some pretty good industry membership. I mean, 41 different industries are represented in our portfolio. However, our portfolio does tend to concentrate. And it looks like, if we grab the sum of these numbers right here and divide that by 250, that's the percentage of our portfolio. A relatively large percentage are in only 6 industries. And we can cut the analysis anywhere you want. You can cut it right here with the top 3. 44 and 30 would be 74, and 20 would be 94, and then subtract 1. So 93 of our 250 companies are in only 3 industries. So that kind of seems like a lot. 93 divided by 250. 37% of our portfolio is represented only by 3 industries, but at least it's not 100% of our portfolio represented by 1 industry. We do have some industry variance here. That concludes this video.